4. Hey, how the fuck are you? I'd probably care you. Episode 94 of the kPodcast, man. We are fucking back. And you know this, man. kPodcast alumni in the building.
In the mix, your boy Pain.
Big Pain with it, man. How you been, man?
I've been good, brother. You getting close to 100, man.
I know. We're inching our way there.
Yeah, that's pretty tight, man.
I still got to figure out what I want to do. I was thinking like almost a party episode. Not have a party, but have as many people on mic as we can, just like reminiscing about the episodes, you know, talking about vibe. Right. But we'll see. I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
That's it. Yeah. The live podcast, do it in the living room.
Yeah, or like take it somewhere else because this room isn't the biggest room, you know.
Right. Yeah, I can see that, man.
So we got 6 more after this one, but we'll get there, man. She. But I think you were on. I looked earlier. You were on episode 83. So
wow,
it's
you've
been
done that many since. That's a lot. Yeah.
And I mean, episode-wise, I guess it doesn't seem like that much, but in between each episode, it's like a month. So I think that was last year.
Some solid time, yeah. That was like late last year, I feel like.
Yeah, pretty much a year ago.
Yeah.
I'll check the dates, but right. And obviously, we've kept in touch since then. But let the people know what you've been up to, man. How you been?
I've been well, man. 2023 was it's been like a weird year in the sense of like things are actually going right, but it feels wrong in a way.
Out of your comfort zone, out of the norm.
It's like a new right. And
true.
It's like, you know, as weird and funny as things feel, it's like, yo, I was on TV this year. I did like so many different like media opportunities. I've done some cool stuff. I put out a project and did a listening party and all this cool stuff.
I know I talked about the Cvncer 2 listening party on one of these episodes, but we'll get into all that.
Yeah, so now it's been a cool year. It's been a great year creatively, and in life terms, it's been like a transformative one. Like kind of falling into what it is that I actually want. Everything to this point has been just trajectory and momentum.
True.
Whereas like consciously deciding what I wanted and only going at that.
Okay.
You know,
moving with intention.
Yeah.
With purpose.
Yeah, was moving in purpose before, but like the consciousness of the purpose is like it's hard. It's kind of hard to break down. It's been what I've been thinking about, trying to work through the understanding of. But it's like you can let life take you on a journey, but then when you decide like, well, there's some things in that journey that I didn't really care for. There's some things I did like. How do I get more of that part of it? You know, how do I not get the part I don't like?
Well, I'm sure you know, to some extent, I feel like you need the part that you don't want or didn't like, you know?
Right.
The yin and yang of life.
That's true.
You know, if everything went according to plan and everything just went exactly the way we wanted, A, that kind of loses the spontaneity of life. B, you know, a lot of those tough times, that shit you didn't want teaches you lessons, life lessons, you know.
That's true.
I'm definitely one of those people where it's like, I need to learn firsthand. You could tell me, yo, don't go do that, don't go over there, but, you know, whatever. All right, bro, I'm going to go over there and check it out.
Right.
And I'm going to come back to you with a fucking update.
And that's
chances are you're right.
That's what I was telling myself, too, is like, do I have to be the person that touches the pot to find out it's hot? That's kind of, I guess that's kind of what I mean. Is like, I like the spontaneity, but I think I've touched enough pots to kind of know what pots I can avoid. I guess that's the way to look at it. It's like, there's some pots I I don't need unnecessary struggle. I want new ones. If I'm gonna have some struggles, I want to struggle through new things because I'm reaching different heights, because I'm stepping into different places. So yeah, absolutely. Finding excitement in the spontaneity again actually is probably the biggest part of it. Cause when at our age, man, doing music and doing anything creatively, you start getting to the point where it's like money.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to take care of things.
Yep.
And I started seeing it early, and I was able to quit my job and live off of my art for a while with photography and stuff like that. But when that becomes the bread and butter, you lose like the love for it.
Yeah, it sucks the fun out of it almost.
So I was like, I've realized this year how drained I was creatively and everything. Granted, I recorded a lot of music over the last year, put out a project and things like that, but like
the heart was
seeing the full vision around everything, how I would typically, if I was fully immersed in it, that's what I started recognizing. Like, dang, I don't feel so crazy about doing this, like pushing this or doing this kind of content, even putting content up. Like, haven't even felt like moved to do that. But as it's returning, I'm realizing why. It's because I lost the fun and the spontaneity of it, as you were saying.
Well, because, it's a blessing and a curse as an entrepreneur, as an artist trying to live off your art. The positive is you have something you love that you can now turn into your bread and butter. But the negative is like it slowly becomes a job in your mind. And like you said, it sucks the fun out of it. It sucks the joy out of it, basically. I mean, that's part of making art.
Right.
Is the journey, kind of figuring it out. If you're like, okay, I need to do this now, not I feel like this is right.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Exactly. And that's what I meant by the 103,000 thing.
Yeah.
He was talking about, I saw one little clip from the GQ interview, and it was saying how like not being forced to do it. Like when I feel creative, that's when I create. And like that's how I've been living the whole time. But even the mental stress of feeling like you're wrong when you're not weighs so heavy, all to look back and say, oh no, I needed to go through that to even feel inspired right now, So it's not even, I guess that's what it is. It's not even changing anything about the journey, really. It's just changing how your outlook on it, when you're going through it.
Well, and especially, at our like underground level, because we could create art, fucking flood the market with art, but chances are it's not generating enough revenue for us to then just chill back. Like 3K, just because you brought him up as an example, Outkast's catalog, I'm sure they're eating off that shit. Like he doesn't need to put out an album, most likely. He's been acting and shit. But he's like, you know what? I feel like creating this album, this instrumental album that people are going to hate on because they want to hear me rap and shit like that. But other people are going to love this shit.
Right.
Who maybe didn't even like Outkast.
Right. It might not have anything to do with my previous life.
Exactly. But this is what I feel now. So, like, this is the art that I'm producing.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's what it's all about, man. That's why I was saying earlier, like, I support that shit. I downloaded it immediately. Yeah. I'm definitely going to rock that shit when I'm driving around, studying or whatever.
That's the goal.
There's time and place for instrumental music, bro. You don't need Spodioti all the time,
I mean, and that's funny that I was about to say, you throw that one out, and that is like mostly an instrumental too. Like people listen to that specifically for it, right? But yeah, I agree, bro. Like music is music, and at the end of the day, even music with no words is music. And it's like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
He's a producer still at the end of the day.
Well, shout out one of my homies, Eighth Letter. I don't know if you know Harley. He's a producer, local artist. And we were talking recently, and his most recent project, actually, no, the most recent project had art and lyrics on it and shit. But he's done multiple just instrumental projects. And we were saying, like, bro, this is how music started, though.
Right.
Like, think about nature sounds and stuff. It wasn't singing outside of birds and whatnot. Like, there weren't singing and lyrics and whatever. It's just like pure natural noises.
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely beauty to be found in that. It's just, I guess, beauty lies in the beholder.
Anyone that's been on like the Hertz music and the like the meditative sounds and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna fit right in those playlists.
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like he's been on his like Far Eastern Zen vibe.
Right.
And I keep seeing the word healing attached to it, and
like healing music.
Yeah.
Well, certain vibrations, I'm sure you've heard, like
bro.
supposedly have certain.
So let's get
yeah,
deep.
let's go,
let's
bro.
Get deep.
That's what we're here for.
So I met a doctor, right, who studies sound frequency and the healing properties around it. I went and visited his house. He's like a very he's really crazy in a way, but I think all the people that study something so intensely are crazy in a good way. But he his name's Dr. Milton, man. He does therapy in a way of speak on your experience, and then I can create a soundscape that combats or heals through that. And it's based off of understanding.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
So say.
Something wrong with your ear? What's up?
What happened?
You good? She's freaking me out for a second. She was like twitching over there. You good? Are you okay? Yeah, she's just bugging.
She's catching vibes.
She's always scratching her ear, but like never that intensely. Sorry.
Nah, you good.
You're good, right? Just lay down.
Right, make sure the baby's all right.
I feel like the lights, she gets like warm in here. I don't know what the hell's going on. You good? Stay over here. All right. Sound doctor.
Sound doctor. So he does therapy in a way of like, if you express what you're feeling, what you've gone through, he can create like a soundscape around that. Like
almost like audio medicine.
Literally producing a soundscape that, because sound. If you think about it on its bare bones, you got people that do sound bowls and like these are all Far Eastern medicines.
Right.
The music in America is already off rip put into the wrong frequency of, I think it's a 732 versus 740. You ever heard about those two different frequencies?
I'm not as familiar.
Yeah. So I know of it. I can't say I'm like, oh, this. I know everything about it.
Yeah, I didn't study like audio engineering or any of that stuff.
Me neither.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
But actually, we're learning as we go.
Right. And actually, I came across this not studying anything to do with music. That's why it's something deeper when we're talking about doing music. This just studying healing, like sound. People that do sound bowls, like there's a reason why when you go on YouTube and pull up those different like meditative things, they have a hertz number there for a reason.
True.
That's the frequency that it's on. There's a healing frequency that correlates with
like chakras,
all types of your parts of your body around you, things like that. So like music, especially like 808s and things like that, the industry standard has had it, and don't quote me on which one, but it's either 732 or 740.
It's like a negative frequency, right?
732, if it's the wrong one, is the one that's it's very like it's a dark feel.
I know,
and that's part of all of the music.
Yeah.
The moment you play in this other frequency or put your music in this other frequency, it makes you feel totally different.
Word. So
him, and I guess I'll bring it back to 3000 too, like there's a reason I'm sure he felt that's the best way for him to, like, people can misconstrue words.
Right.
But you can't misconstrue a sound.
Vibes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if he was 100% fearful of how he would be received as a rapper, I'm going to give you a sound instead. It's like Prince changing his name.
True.
To a sound or to a word that's not a name. So yeah, man, sound is a healing thing, and we have a lot of power with this music. And I can understand anybody taking a step back to say, like, what do I really want people to feel for real when they hear what I'm saying?
Well, and to put it in perspective for people who maybe aren't as like hippie as you and I, and aren't into music and audio stuff like that, think about any movie, any horror movie. They use specific sounds, the reet type shit. You know, like, what you're saying is 100% true. Certain sounds are used to
the suspense you feel when
moods,
on those like strings are very good for building suspense.
Exactly.
And a good orchestrator knows how to put you in a feeling. So why would you think that anything music, entertainment, industry related wouldn't have an intent on what they want you to feel? You know?
No, yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I didn't think about that at all in relation to the 3K album, just because it just came out today. But now that you say that, I feel like I've only listened to like 2 songs so far this morning. So when I listen to the rest, I feel like I'm going to have a different perspective on it now. I mean, like, I love jazz and instrumental music anyway, you know,
Right.
so it's in the same alley,
Yeah, he's not so far from
right.
the core.
Exactly. So, like, I approach it with an open mind anyway, because I just like that kind of shit, especially when you're driving, you know, reading, you're trying to focus on something else. It's just nice, like, ambiance music almost. But obviously, I want to listen to, you know, his interpretation.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But speaking of albums, man, let's travel back in time just a few months. I gave my interpretation of the Cancer 2 listening party recap, which was dope. Great project again.
Family only.
Now we'll get your perspective, given that it's your project. Favorite song. First off, let's start with the listening party.
Gotcha. All right, so listening party. I've done one listening party before, but it was a celebratory, like 5 years after my project. At the studio, I recorded it, and it was like a different fan base.
Like
but this
anniversary party.
Yeah, it was more of an anniversary thing for RCS1, but this is my actual first listening party, like upon release.
First time hearing it. Yeah, and all that.
So that was a different feeling. It was put together pretty like swiftly, just because even with the first Cancer project, this is number 2. It was always something that like around June I just start feeling like, yo, I want to do something for my birthday. And it comes together. With this one, it was a little bit more intention on it. I had already kind of felt like I was gonna be doing it, but the release party and listening party was something that I took a little bit more pride in this time. Just like, y'all really want to get together a few people that I love their music. Like,
well, the way you set it up was awesome too. It wasn't just. It was a nice spacious room. Yeah, you involve the crowd and everything. Because you've been to listening parties for other people, not saying any names, but a lot of folks, their listening party is just a bunch of people crammed in a studio space, which isn't very big. Everyone's just smoking and drinking, and no one's really like tuned into the music, which is why we're all here. You know, so I feel like the way that you set it up was more conducive to like, let's focus on the music. Let's talk about the music. You know what I mean? Not just you up there preaching to us, yo, this is what it is, boom. Like, you know, you reached out for questions and stuff. You gave background stories. Like, I don't know. The way that you did it was definitely dope. I've never thrown a listening party myself, but I feel like I would probably try to do it more like you did than others.
Bro, and honestly, I'm an event planner, so
True.
like I want to do that with my friends' projects too, because it's like I didn't realize that was a skill. You know, it's like, oh damn, like
we'll talk off
curating those kind of spaces. But yeah, man, like, so yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Like, my part of my whole being, even, you know, I built my artistry name in any kind of fame terms off of a totally different name, B Payne. That's like who everyone knew me as from high school to post college,
right? And
then I changed my name to Payne for intent and really waking up into who I am. So with that, like, my name itself was always meant to be something inclusive. Like, if you say I am Payne, that's your truth as well, because we all have a struggle that we've been through, and we can, you know, then redefine what that struggle is to us.
It's universal.
Exactly. And that's what it was always meant. Like, I saw it as like, if I'm chanting my name and granted, I don't even go by the full I am Payne anymore. But at the time, it felt awkward. Like, yo, you're saying a sentence almost as my name. But when you chant it and get people to chant it back, it's like, embrace that.
Yeah,
like, really
that.
Embrace that. And I could see it in people. So just a part of keeping my essence, bro. It did feel right to throw a listening party where the people, because it was a special invite kind of only thing too.
Right.
I made it public maybe the day of, but up until that,
it was pretty intimate.
Yeah, I wanted it to be.
I definitely met new people and shit like that, but it was still just a nice like homie family vibe.
I got so many like random dope friendships, and it's like I want all of those people to meet. And that's kind of always been. We're all
creatives at the end of the day.
Yeah, so being able to like allow everyone a chance to play something they're working on, and kind of recognize that everyone in the room
that was dope too.
Is super talented. You know, like we're here to celebrate me. I appreciate that, and it was my birthday at the time specifically too. But like just like the project, it's a celebration. Like you can listen to my birthday project and feel like it's your birthday. It's
Right.
aunties saying I love you, baby boy, and it's people singing happy birthday, both versions.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff is, that's why I made it. I wanted to have a project I can go back to and always feel like a familial vibe. If nowhere else I can find it, because life gets crazy and blood sometimes isn't as thick as water.
Right.
Like all those things, like I can listen to this and feel the love that I know I want. And I can go back to that listening party's memory and say, yo, look at these people that were here. And I also heard them. They gave me a piece of them too. It wasn't them just taking my energy in any kind of way. It's like, nah,
hell no.
We pushing this back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Super dope vibe. So question, I don't think I asked you that night. This is Cvncer 2 project, so it's obviously like the second of the installment. Would you say it's a continuation of the first album, or it's more so just because it's kind of geared around your birthday and your sign and everything?
I would say conceptually it's in the same vein. Like the idea of Cvncer was always, the project Cvncer was always supposed to be pain and friends as an expression of what a Cvncer is, which is this loving, want to be around people, love everybody kind of person.
True.
But what I did differently was the first one, I had just gotten like the second wave of WTF artists around. So that's when like Ayana, KP, Slider, who's been around me forever, but he was kind of jumping into like the whole mix with us. It was a project of literally me and everybody on my team. I want everybody to be presented on my birthday together, and that made it a good definitive project. I remember getting like messages from people like, yo, I've never seen the city react to a project like this. And it was just a free upload, But with this one, same collaborative nature, but just me on the songs. It was collaborative through the production. It was collaborative through the writing on like Boys II Men. It was collaborative on the voice messages. It was collaborative in presentation with the listening party. Like I just wanted to have that same. So it's a continuation of my story. And granted, I would have loved, the first one came out in 2017, so I would have loved to have done it like this be a series that I do every year.
Right.
I didn't think about it at the time. It was like I just want to put out a project. At the time I'm feeling right now, this feeling started to come up, and that's what connected it to the first one.
Word.
More than anything, the feeling of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely can make it into a series. I'm sure you already have plans, but like so many artists have shit like that. We're not necessarily in the mixtape era anymore, but even just with projects in general,
Drake dropping EPs, still. So that's no rules anymore. I think that's what I mean by like the discomfort of this new era of motion, because it's like it's nothing wrong. It's just we've never felt like we can be in control. Yeah. Like especially in terms of like chasing, specifically chasing like the music industry. Like if you started in 08, 07, shit like me, the only route at that time was DJs, clubs, waiting outside of a record label, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And mixtapes, yeah, but
handing out mixtapes.
You have to put a lot of money into that too. Right. Like that was the only route. And then, a little bit later, now internet is really becoming a wave. Like, even 07, 08 is when Soulja Boy was showing us that could happen. So that caught on by like 2013.
Yeah, the internet is, I think we'd all agree, is like the primary avenue these days, People just blow off of TikTok or off of like a...
It's too... My humanity won't agree with that.
Like, elaborate.
So it's like... Respect it as a tool, because it is a way to connect with people that aren't right next to you. Mm-hmm. But I think the best tool will always be anyone you can directly, energy-wise, be in the same space. Like,
no, yeah... 100%.
Like that's a good way to connect with them, the
with
internet,
that.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm not saying that the internet is the best avenue. I just feel like, unfortunately, it's like the most popular avenue. Everyone just wants to be lit online, even if, you've been to these fucking shows. People got all the followers, they got the blue check and shit like that. You go to a show, like they're not talking to anybody,
right? And that's what I mean. Is like
Because I agree with the human aspect. You know that.
No, exactly. And it's like, I don't even want to throw that out there. It's like with that said, it still has to be attached with the human, with the face to face.
Yeah,
like,
there has to be a human running that social media account. At least there fucking should be.
Yeah, and no, I guess I'm saying like, even if you're, because we've seen it, you can blow crazy on social media, but the moment you're face to face with your fans and you show you're an asshole, or you're not a good person,
or you can't conduct it or like talking to
all of that kills everything. Right. You know, so it's like
at the end,
at the end of the day, you still have to be a person,
right?
And it's like, though I lean further on that side, like I came up on the internet, I definitely, at the beginning of all this stuff, I was into it, but just as of late, I felt, and maybe it's what we observed with Childish Gambino and all them when they went through those little phases where he looked like he was homeless and shit. Remember that little era when he was on Breakfast Club? Yeah. It's like all of the artists like us go through these moments where they're like completely in rejection of what society is saying they have to be.
Well, I think part of that might have to do with we're from that era. We're like the last ones from the era pre-internet. Like we, as kids, we didn't really grow up with the internet.
Right.
So like our programming, whatever you want to call it, the way that we were raised was more, let's go outside, let's fucking, play a sport, let's like do something. So to a certain, because I feel like that a lot too, bro. Like we obviously have to use this shit. It's a tool to promote our shit, to get other people who don't live in our immediate vicinity to like hear our stuff or whatever. But yeah, like it's tiring, bro. I get burnt out on this shit.
Yeah, and that's not, it's like, that's where that balance comes in, because it's like I see the value in it, and it's definitely been value to me. I would never speak down on social media. I've been here since the beginning of so many of them. Right. You've been here using them, I'm sure, since they came out as well.
Instagram was that little blue square, and it was just photos.
It's like it's all a part of the full machine that you can be, but finding comfort in how you want to utilize these things in the way that doesn't burn you out. I think that's the space I'm currently in.
True. No, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Especially
like all these are tools, but sometimes I want to use the hammer a little bit more. Sometimes I don't need the hammer. Sometimes I can.
Well, yeah, sometimes exactly. Sometimes you don't need the hammer. You need the screwdriver. You need the fucking pliers.
Right.
So
through our 20s, I think we built up our toolkits. Now it's like, what's the best way of me using these toolkits that I can be me throughout it, but still get to my version of success.
Right. Yeah, because we all have our own path too.
Right.
Social media gets people too caught up in like, you see what someone else is doing and that envy. Exactly. It's like, no, you don't. You can do that, but you don't have to do that. Like
if you're inspired by it, by any means.
Yeah, that's different.
But don't feel like
more than one way to skin a cat.
That's your plateau as well. What'd you say?
It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yo, that phrase is crazy.
I don't understand.
Why
that
you skinning
phrase,
cats, bro?
Hey,
what are you doing with that cat after you skin it? Are you preparing it to eat?
That's where those hairless cats came from.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Hey, man,
but now we were talking about the because that was even a little tangent.
We talking about cancer too.
Yeah, cancer too, right? We were talking about the listening party and everything.
We got the skinny cats, but.
Yeah, man. Just the journey of being a Cancer, bro. Like the first one, I even called it that because my whole adult life since horoscopes was something that people talk about. Cancer has always been said like emotional and all these things like that in society feel like a negative thing.
Okay.
But when you think about the humanity of it, it's like, no, that's what people should be.
You're just a real human.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to have to feel so deeply. I don't want to have to be so empathetic, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, right.
So, like, it was a part of me embracing something that was kind of ridiculed for a long time.
True.
Just, I don't want to be one of those. I was bullied, too. I'm not one of those people that's
being a Cancer?
Not necessarily for being a Cancer, but for how I showed myself.
True.
Like
how like in touch with your emotions you were.
Yeah, like
some people can't
it's
handle
just
that
now
shit.
becoming like let's be real. That's becoming that's now a accepted thing
With men.
even for men. Yeah,
Right.
like but even overall, like just 10 years ago, feelings were really not a real thing. 15 years ago, people weren't talking about feelings.
Definitely not with men.
Yeah.
100%. You know, I can't speak.
It wasn't.
We're both men.
Well, no,
so.
I mean on a societal like what like now even marketing is about feeling now. They realize that that's important.
True,
so I
true.
mean like if you're thinking about it from how the world was dominated by men just 15 years ago, even that perspective is saying that nothing was based in the thought of feeling at the time.
True.
So society was a feelingless thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I lost my mom.
Right.
That's the source of that. You know, you're not gonna get that kind of energy from your dad. You don't typically get that kind of energy from your dad.
Again,
not what you get.
Not from a man, typically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like in my case, I was showing it, looking for it in reciprocation in this wide world because I lost the closest thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
and most
I had
times
to be
you're
okay
not
with
gonna
that.
get it back, unfortunately.
In
this world, you know.
What I'll say,
unfortunately,
is I've up until this point, I've been okay with putting myself out there 100 times to be stabbed 98 and find the 2 that matter.
True. Well, yeah, you got to live your life at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I've tried both routes, and it's like I enjoy people as much as people can irk me, as much as all those things. Like, there's too many good people I've encountered out here in the wilderness to not be inspired. I can look at the glass half empty, but I choose like, nah, I love people enough to give people a chance, but I can increase my boundaries. I can increase how I perceive. I can change how I trust. I can change how I how much rope I give.
True.
But I don't have to give up on people, you know.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, we need people, you know. One of my favorite things is having those random encounters with a stranger. You might not even swap names, but you just have like a positive experience with a stranger and you both just keep it pushing. You just leave that encounter smiling, just like, that was dope, man.
That's like partially the reason why I feel like New York is my second home. Cause that's a place
way
that
more people, that's for sure.
And I think that's why it's like the idea that you could just stand on a block, man, and a million. If you stood on one block in Manhattan for a day, I mean, granted, maybe
for a whole day,
pre-COVID, you're gonna encounter a million different people. You might not say something to them, but encounter in terms of you might see them, they might look at you, blase. And it's like, energy. Bro, I've always had like. My whole life in the wilderness has been like anime. Random encounters with random people on my journey that, yo, you're just like me. I love you. Let's do this together. You know, and that's been my whole life. And though some experiences have, like, I allowed it to taint me into, you know, not even feeling that, like, that's possible anymore. I'm in this space now, and I think, you know, cancer, while I was even kind of experiencing it then, I would say my projects have always been prophetic in that way. Like, I'm writing for the feeling that I want to feel, so I'm putting it out. Like, it's crazy because the years that I wasn't putting out music, I felt like things were on stall mentally as well. But when I'm putting
process stuff,
yeah, and it's like, nah, not only, but I was creating the music. It's just the idea of when you put it out, you're actually releasing it. Like, you're literally releasing it, you know?
Yeah, get it out of the vault.
Yeah, man. So that was what that project was for me. Just being in a space of wanting to release something, you know? Give art to the world.
Right. No, I mean, I think every artist can relate to that. I saw some shit literally today. It was like, release that song. Like, stop overthinking it. Release that art, whatever, you know what I mean?
It's done. Slap a master on it and it's done. Right. Stop playing.
Well, I fucking decided to put out this EP on December 1st. Like
I'm proud to hear.
We're holding it for the film we're working on, but I was like, you know what, bro? Like just to get it off my chest, you know what I mean? Just to get it out of the vault, keep the momentum going. Like, get the music first. You get the film later.
Yeah, we got man. You got endless creation in you, man. And I'm sure your vault's fat as hell anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Release the vault.
Growing by the day, too. And I mean, I think we'd probably both agree some of that shit will never get released. But there's also some gold in there that we're just overthinking that, you know, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we just like
the time's passed and all this other stuff. It's like, yo, they don't know your life.
Yeah.
Put that shit out.
Right.
You could put out a song about when you were 16
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It don't matter. Right.
That's timeless music.
Exactly.
So Cvncer 2, available everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything else been going? You've been performing the project?
Well, that month I did, and really not since. I recognize this year that I've tried so many different shows and added so many things to my toolkit. I kind of want to just do shows the way I want to now. I don't want it to be conducted by
others.
Yeah, like in the sense of like, I enjoy having a drummer, maybe not even a whole band, but I enjoy having a drummer. I enjoy having a DJ, my own DJ, you know? So like I realized that some of my fatigue in performing as of late has been because I wasn't putting on my show.
True.
You know? And that comes with not requesting a booking fee. That comes with, you know, all those pieces. So it's like, yeah, let me take some time away from it. Also in the sense of building value, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Can't be doing every open mic everywhere. Yeah.
So, I mean, I took a really cool show in July around the same time as it was like 2 days before the listening party. So that Saturday, it was a fashion show event. But it was at
the trippy screens and shit.
Yeah, it was at this dope ass place. Shout out to Lele that put the event together at the spot called OptiView 360, and it's like some shit you'll see in Miami, man, like Wynwood or something. It's just all artistic and built for content creation, but had the trippy screen, and that's where I did Boys to Men. That's the only song off that project that I did.
True.
And that was my first time really performing it too, and it was fun. It felt good. Like it felt. So I know I want to do it, but I want to do it the way I want to do it. Right. So I'm just prepping for that.
Well, being an event planner, you probably develop a certain vision for the way you like to see shit, and when it's not done like that, it's like,
yeah, man. Because then you realize, better. It's not that I don't want to perform. It's just I have a way I want to do it. So let me give people the best version of it, you know. So yeah, I haven't been performing it much. More so been in a weird way. I think I've been allowing myself to kind of fully start over, and I've been just more personal with my supporters through this. Like it's been more just direct. Like, True. Yo, I put out a birthday project. I really want you to hear this for whatever reason that we connected. And it's been more like direct feedback like that. Because what also I realized over this weird shift in the music industry over the last 10 or so years is like, it is on our own time. It's not like we're trying to put up these crazy first week numbers and we got this competition for Grammy nominations and stuff like that we're trying to adhere to any of these rules. So we can put out something to nobody hearing it and that be okay, because that next performance is going to make people go listen to it.
Right.
That next visual you put out, that content piece, coming to talk to kPod on the interview, all those things will bring people back to it at the end of the day.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, let me go check out that shit they were talking about.
And that, I guess that part won't be a shared feeling with everyone, because you have to, I guess, believe you make timeless music for that to actually work for you.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to rest.
Non-artists won't understand that, but I understand what you're talking about.
I'm starting to realize, like, I knew there was a difference, but I'm resting in the fact that, like, it's like I'm finally giving myself flowers. Like, I've accepted flowers, but I've never fully been like, yo, you are the shit too, man. You can like be okay with that.
Well,
you put in time and effort, and you are like
bro.
you are something.
Well,
be okay with that shit and run with it for real.
I mean, look how far, we both went to UCF around the same time. And we didn't even really know each other then, but just using that as an example, look at how far you and I have come since that period in our life. You know what I mean? And we're not fucking on or whatever the fuck other people might be concerned with. But it's like, listen, bro, when I look back on my journey, I've come a long fucking way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying you can't take that from me. You can't take what my eyes have seen.
Exactly.
The stages I've been on and the people I've met. You can't take that away from me. And what the only separation there, and it's crazy, I put out a song about it because I was very like meta at the beginning of this I Am Pain journey. Everything was like, what's really real, Matrix vision. But like, it was a song about like, yo, the only difference between our experience and the fame and all that comes with it is whether or not it was taped and put out somewhere. It's the only difference.
Whether or not,
because you've had some of the crazy experiences that you see other people have that, it might be a scandal or all these different things.
It just wasn't on TMZ.
Yeah, it just wasn't on TMZ. You just weren't as important.
Right.
You've heard a rapper say a lyric that you wrote 10 years ago.
Right.
You just weren't where.
That is true.
So it's like, there's no degree of separation. You don't have to care. We don't have to care about any of that, and that's a hard thing to deprogram from because that's what we know. So like I'm realizing it more as I'm talking about it. So that's what it is. It's like, yeah, like that's what this journey is for me now. It's like waking up into this like, oh shit, like I've made this shit harder than it needed to be, and it doesn't have to be any of that. Like, just have fun with this shit, man. Like, go back to having fun with it.
Well, like we said earlier, mainly because like everyone has their own journey. Like no one can be you. No one else can be Pain. No one else could be kPod.
Right.
Like that's just what it is. And we may not feel like that at times because we are ourselves. Like, it's that fucking ego shit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you step outside of that, it's just like, damn, bro, like you said, I don't give myself flowers or pat myself on the back enough, mainly because, we're focused on the next thing normally.
Right.
Like, what else can I create? It's always something next.
Yep. And only because that last thing wasn't crazy documented is like, we think it doesn't exist. But it's like, nah, I did that. Mean
it wasn't great.
I did that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So, yeah, you asked me what's my favorite song in there too, right?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Roadrunner had been for a long time. Just because like I felt like in such a vibe when I was singing that day.
Yeah. I mean, that one's great. Pocket Watching.
That's like
Boys to Men.
It's like favorites for different vibes, like kind of thing.
They all kind of do have a different vibe though, which I like.
And that's what the EP is to me. It's like, let me show y'all some different stuff and just all different kind of bags. But Pocket Watching is definitely my favorite for like the bounce of it. Yeah. It's just the one that keep my third grade teacher that's on the voicemail track. She said that's her favorite too, which is funny as hell. But but I really, really love the feeling of and I think I do this a lot with intros, and Royal Rising feels like this too, even though it's not an intro to anything as of right now. But the feeling of Ice Spice, like the intro one, I really like it just feels like you're waking up. So that's probably my favorite one to play back the most, honestly. Ice Spice.
Are you have a video? You say you have a couple videos for Boys to Men, right? Or that was Mirror?
Mirror is the one I got. Yeah, I still haven't even put out the second one yet. Yeah.
So you doing videos for any of the joints for?
I would like to. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, oh, that's what the quiet time is. It's prepping that stuff.
Well, all the behind the scenes work that people don't see unless you're posting on Instagram every day. Exactly. Which, like we said, gets exhausting.
Yes, I do have some videos in mind. And yeah, just putting together like the show around it, all that kind of stuff. Because in the meanwhile, I'm still planning the next couple projects and all that too. So yeah, man, I definitely want to do at least a video for pocket watching. I feel like I would really love to do like some something comedic
shit.
No, I want to do something comedic.
Word.
Like
It's though, bro.
Yeah, I want to do something funny. I don't fully have the vision for it yet, but just something that's really intense, like a detective, really like out here trying to discover what people's pockets.
How much shit is in your pocket?
Yeah, man. And you can maybe like basing it off. I'm off the head right now. Maybe like basing it off how they're dressed. And it's like constantly wrong because people are showing a different, what's not really
deeper
real.
meaning.
Exactly, because that's really what it's about. So
yeah,
man, I got a couple ideas that I want to put together for it. But yeah, allowing it to flow in time, man. There's life things to take care of in the meantime. So just getting those things in order so that from that point, it's like, oh, I'm living the life of an artist. I'm not living the life of a trying to be artist that's also in school or, also trying to pursue like a career. It's like, nah, I do artistry, and when I'm making money, I'm putting that into this and how I'm moving on this, because I know what I want to do with it, and that's the life I want to live. So, let me learn my flute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stop playing. Let me learn my flute.
To me, that's what people call making it. Like, that's making it to me. Not being on red carpets and, all that bullshit. It's really just being able to sustain a life off of whatever you want, And I mean, call that entrepreneurship, whatever. But, like, as an artist, sometimes you don't feel like an entrepreneur, but you kind of are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm just creating shit because I feel like I have to.
Well, that's the biggest disconnect. I think that's been a big piece of the journey too. Learning that is entrepreneurship. It's almost entrepreneurship to the highest degree because you're not selling some product. You are the product.
Yeah.
So like you have to really
we're prostituting ourselves out,
and you have to be aware of because there's the high level prostitutes that you can't even touch and you still pay.
What's the
those people
Wolf
gonna
of Wall
pay?
Street, the blue chips,
man. So it's just is what you decide and how you want to move. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am selling me, and if I want to do that authentically, people got to see and be able to understand that there's ups and there's downs, and that's just what humanity is. We all going through it, But look what I can create when I'm down.
Right.
Look what I can create. Look what you can create when you're down. Look what you can create when you're up. We all can do this shit,
No, yeah, absolutely. And not even just music-wise. I mean, creation to the fullest extent.
Whatever it is for you.
Carpenters, fucking whatever,
Whatever it is to you.
100%. Well, how's life been outside of artistry and cancer, too?
It's been transformative.
Butterfly phase.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. Yeah, and maybe the first true maybe the butterfly, not the first stage where it's like going into the cocoon and
the
all
chrysalis.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is like maybe is that the actual moment, but yeah, I spent a lot of my adult life searching for like knowing my purpose in terms of like who I am and what I'm delivering because I was walking in that fully, but feeling like there was like some kind of like duties that I'm waiting on from the familial side. Like, yeah, I can go and run and do it and chase these mountains and these heights on my own and just do that. But what does my family need? What can I be doing for the at home? Because I can go capture the world, but what does home need? And like we spoke about earlier, not having my mom there kind of, left me in a space of not knowing. And then, my relationship with my pops has been something that I've been working on my whole life. Didn't necessarily grow up with them. Had a stepdad that my mom married, so didn't have to lean on my dad so much. So, like I said, searching for purpose in that aspect, like as a man. And this year I fully allowed that search to become a like a reality by going back home. So I did decide to leave Orlando for the first time in like 14 years, man. Since I actually came here from back home, and decided to spend some time there and figure out purpose there. You know, let me not focus on everything I've been doing for self, almost making it feel like I was being selfish in a way, kind of telling myself that. So I put myself in the situation to see it firsthand, and you know, all the while I definitely thrusted me into the butterfly phase of like, you know, even here and there, like my dad directly said, it's like, yo, you are a star, man. Like, you just don't realize that. And star in whatever way you take it, but a light nonetheless that people are going to be drawn to. So you have to understand how to use that for good. And
one of them ones.
Yeah, man. And it's a tough feeling, but the butterfly part of it is coming from I've had so many great opportunities put on my table, even in terms of specifically music, that I turned away from out of fear, out of like, I don't have the grounding of people I trust around me directly that I can feel safe putting myself into those situations. Jumping into an industry without people you trust around you just sounds crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so at different stages in my life, I've had these different opportunities, all for like I said, the culmination of it to be like, nah, let me get back with what I told myself was my foundation, even though I didn't necessarily grow up with my dad, you know, but I told myself, you know, this is a part of the journey. And it ultimately was, in a sense of recognizing like, nah, I got me, and the people that I've met on this journey understand me a lot more because y'all are also doing it too, you know.
We're all living our own truth.
Yeah, man.
Our own pain.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it, bro. Just fully embracing fully understanding what my truth is, even, you know, because I'm also that. Like, I know that new information can be given tomorrow that completely changes your perspective on everything, and I've always been okay with that. But being in space now, kind of also recognizing what I've seen and moving forward with that as a part of the truth instead of ignoring so much, you know. So, yeah, man, definitely in a space of recognizing, and it's kind of a burden off in that sense, because when you're searching for like purpose outside of yourself, it's a never ending.
You're gonna be
like,
busy.
Yeah, man. It's like I already knew, and I've known for a long time. Like, I didn't write these songs at 16 and 17 about purpose for no reason, you know. So yeah, it was just a full circle just to get back to where it was before, but more mature, man. And
that's the name of the EP I'm putting out.
What's that?
Full Circle.
Full Circle. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's all it is, man. Big cycle of journey of learning.
No, yeah, man. I mean, such is life.
Right. One of my favorite artists out here, Lafayette Stokely. His project is called Such Is Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good title.
Yeah, man. That's what it is. You know, as adults, we realizing what it actually is, and at this point, it's at least we got a creative outlet. You know, 15 years ago, it was like people didn't recognize that. You know, it's like now, it's like everybody's going through life as it is, but at least I got something that I love to do.
Right.
You know?
It's funny you said that, because I was talking to one of my buddies recently that I grew up with who doesn't necessarily have a creative outlet. And he pretty much said that verbatim. He was like, bro, you're so lucky that like you have something that you just love to do. You know what I mean? He was like, I just fucking, you know, I get off work or whatever, and I'm just like doing what I do. You know what I mean? I don't have like a passion type shit that you have. And I was just like, yeah. For me, it's weird to hear that almost, because that's just it's in my DNA. Like, that's just how I am. So, like, to my brain, there isn't another way.
Right.
So for someone to like see that and think that's cool, I was just like,
yeah, it's a different
like,
level. It's a different level of gratitude. Like, damn, I am blessed to have like this thing.
Right.
You know, like if I'm feeling down, I can write something
right.
and feel happy.
It didn't really like click, I guess, until like he said that, and I was just like, damn. Yeah, man. But and I've also had conversations with other artists where it's like, as cheesy as it sounds or whatever, to a certain extent, bro, being a creative and being able to create music, whatever, like create something out of nothing is sort of a superpower to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
It's like you're literally taking
not
something
everyone
out
can
of
do
this,
it, right? Like define superpower, you know?
Yeah, man. Oh, you want me to?
No, I'm saying for people who want to argue that shit, you know what I mean? Like define superpower. Right. Not everyone can do this shit. I literally took nothing and now there's something. And like it's making you move. You know what I mean? Is that magic? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. That's
shit.
Right. Yeah, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. And to be blessed with that is like the Spider-Man shit, you know. Great.
Well, so I feel like people might confuse what I'm saying as if we're superheroes. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm just saying like being able to create music is essentially a superpower.
Yeah, and everybody has their own.
Everyone has their own superpower. There's, you know, we won't need to get into it, but there's super everythings.
and what is a superpower if the person that has it isn't in tune with themselves? We seen Aang take 3 seasons to fully master who he was. We've seen Peter Parker 3-4 separate times now go through the same journey of having the powers but still having to learn who he was and even become a hero. You can have the powers and still not be a hero. You can still be a punk.
Right.
You know? So the idea of like really honing your powers and knowing how to use them, you know, because you could easily fall into being a villain too if you don't know how to use them.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. We're getting deep with it, but it's 100% true.
I mean, what is a villain? It's just a person with a different... You can
make hate songs and like fucking use the frequencies we were talking about. You use all the fucking hate, negative frequencies, brainwash people.
Yeah, like what is your focus? You have a stage and a mic that can affect essentially everyone on earth. What do you want to say to them?
Well, I mean, and I know like that's what they talk about with these huge artists who they have basically mind control, especially if you have young fans like 12-year-olds and shit like that listening to your shit. You could basically say anything, and chances are all those kids are going to like listen and do whatever you say, which is kind of wild when you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's mind control.
It's actually following.
Like, yeah, that's following in real life. That's like stanship, whatever you want to call it. Super fandom.
It's a powerful responsibility, man, and maybe you don't reach those heights having a certain like code, but like you said, making it is it's different up to you. Yeah, like I'm cool with touching 1,000 people the right way, you know.
Well, and I think you and I are in the same boat where I would rather have 1,000 real fans who give a fuck and will buy your shit and are supportive and you can connect with on a human level versus 1 million bots or, you know, fake fan, you know, fair weather fans, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Right. Right. So yeah, man, it's all about connection, and I'm trying to use my powers for good, man.
Right.
I just want to use my
with
powers.
Our powers unite.
Yeah, man. Captain America shit. Not Captain America, Captain Planet. Captain Planet shit.
But yeah, man, tell the people where to find you. Tell them what's coming next.
Oh, yeah, so you can find me, you can find me in real life, you know what I'm saying?
You can find me on Earth.
You know what I'm saying? Hit me with a hootie hoo, and I'll pop up in your longitude and latitude. But now on social media and everything, you can find me at IAMPVYNE. That's I Am Pain. What's next? Art Basel, Miami.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, this year, in the same vein as everything else we've been talking about, just kind of returning to form. 2020 and everything that happened with that shook the consistency of Art Basel, and also myself participating and throwing events at it. But this year we're coming back with the Art Walk. It's a free event. It's really just taking people on a tour through Wynwood, doing exactly like what I do when I go.
Sure.
I pull up with cameras, and pull up and just take cool pictures all over the place and try to get content. It's like, yo, if you're an artist and a content creator or any kind of creative, join us on this tour with other creatives, network, make a scene, exchange contacts, get some dope content, market yourself, perform,
shoot a fucking video.
Like, yeah, it's that kind of vibe. Let's just make a big scene and do it as a unit, because you might pull up only having a photographer but then meet a videographer.
Right. You
might pull up needing a model and boom, there you are. You might want to buy a new beanie for your photos.
Boom.
Fashion designer there. So yeah, just a good networking event, man. Something people can kind of get together. Is a good way to end off the year. Collaborating with a Miami team called Content Creators Experience. I was nominated for their annual award show in June. Yeah, man. So that's how I actually met them, and just getting in tune with them and realizing like, yo, y'all are moving exactly like what I see WTF as in Orlando.
But they're in Miami.
Mm-hmm. And funny enough, the leader of it is actually from Orlando and moved
Nice.
down there. And I'm from down there and moved up here. So yeah, it's we connected on that level, and just it's like, let's start building things together. We got the same kind of vision, and we can help each other in the ways that we both. I like to do this, you like to do that part. Boom.
Right.
So
me in the middle.
Yeah. So Art Basel is just, let's get all the creatives together so we can start off the year with a fresh set of network and contacts and, different people from all over the country and maybe even the world that you can go visit now and shoot and do things, because now you just met them at Art Basel. So yeah, just kind of curating that experience to anybody that wants to come out to Art Basel for the first time, or, revisiting again and just want to do it with different people.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. I mean, I've been to Miami and Wynwood plenty of times, but I've never been to Art Basel, actually.
I can give a quick little synopsis on Art Basel, man, because people gonna get it twisted. Like I've said it to people and they're like, yeah, they think it's like a music festival and all these different things, but nah, Art Basel is and I don't even think I'm saying it right. I think it's Basel maybe, but Basel is
pronounced so many different ways.
Yeah, it's actually a city in Switzerland where this event started, and it's an art festival. And it travels around the world. They do Hong Kong, they do Miami, of course they do Switzerland, and there's one other spot. But Miami, that happens annually in December. And essentially they take over like 3 different districts. They do South Beach, the Fashion District, and Wynwood, which is the Art District, and paint the town red. Everything is art. They build a full gallery on the beach, on South Beach, which is crazy. Wynwood, which is already, as you've seen when you just visit normally, is already an artistic place. Some of those spots are locally there already, but they allow people from all over the world to rent out those spots and fill it with their art, because really everybody's trying to showcase their work to these thousands and thousands and thousands of people from all over the world just walking through Wynwood. So yeah, different events and different murals getting put up all over. All the different buildings are getting repainted. Every shop, every storefront is a different gallery. So it's like a cool experience just off of that alone. Come out in a dope outfit and just enjoy the day.
Vibe.
Yeah, it's really a simple
weekend,
day.
Though, right? Or a whole week?
I think it's like a whole week this time, and sometimes I've seen it be 2 weeks before too. But yeah, the main day typically for me is that last Saturday of it, which is this year's December 9th. Yeah, so a good little midday to sundown vibe with the art walk. We got some other stuff going on after too, some more networking things, but all of that can be found on my Instagram. There's a registration page and everything for details and all that. But yeah, man, all are welcome. Just want to catch a vibe with whoever pulls up. We're just gonna make it a vibe.
Up at our Basel.
Our Basel. Our
Basel.
Basilia. Whatever you want to call it.
Fucking out it. Fuck out it. But word, man. Fucking Cvncer 2 everywhere. Go get that.
You know what I'm saying?
And
shout out to your horoscope too. Everybody's horoscope. What's yours?
Libra.
Shout out to your. Oh, my little brother's a Libra too. So yeah, shout out to everybody's horoscope. Like, it's not biased,
right?
You know, and your main horoscope ain't even your whole horoscope. You know,
I don't know shit about that shit except I'm a Libra.
They be like you're one thing, but then you identify as another thing, and then you really are the other thing inside when you're not showing people. So it's like this whole, you're all the things.
At the end of the day,
you're everything.
All of them.
Exactly. And I think that's the end of the journey. It's like you can either choose to say you're so different,
right,
or you can really dive deeper and say, "Oh, you're me."
Right.
It is what it is. So if you can celebrate, your birthday, you can celebrate my birthday by listening to the Cvncer 2 project.
Cvncer 2, man. I am pain. What episode did I say this was? 94?
94.
94, the kPodcast, man.
Thank you for having me back, man.
Fuck yeah.
Already.
Welcome back anytime. I'll let you know about that episode 100, you know what I mean?
Man.
Figure out what we're doing for that.
Somebody trying to say something on the mic right quick?
Big T. Yeah, she's been going nuts this whole episode. What's up with you?
What's up?
A little tension. Like
literally jumped in my arms like a broad.
Look at it, yeah. Yeah, you can see her. Look at that over there. But yeah, man, you know the vibe. Stay safe, stay smart, stay sexy, and stay motherfucking tuned. Episode 94 of the kPodcast. We fucking at it. That's a wrap. Sayonara.